Imagine you're in high school again, and you're sitting in the cafeteria looking at all the different social groups, the jocks, the nerds, the emo kids. And off in the corner, you see a girl hunched over, hiding behind a book. Maybe you were that girl. I was that girl. I was desperate to belong in one of these groups, but I didn't know how. I was always the good girl, getting good grades, doing what my parents and teachers said, but none of that mattered. It didn't make me popular. And I would remember trying to join in conversations with the other kids, and they would turn their backs to me, often ignore me, talk over me, interrupt me, as if I wasn't even there. And I would look at the popular kids and I would wonder, why do people want to talk to them, but no one wants to talk to me? What's wrong with me? So naturally, I decided to learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube because I thought that that would impress people and then they'd want to be my friend. That didn't work. So I became a magician. That also didn't work. So one day when I was 16, in a fit of desperation, I turned to Google and I typed in the words, how to get charisma. So I set off to become a great communicator. And little did I know it at the time, but this would lead me to a decade later, developing a theory that there are 3 levels of relationships, which changed my life. My name is Yasmina, and in this talk, I will share those 3 levels with you. Circumstantial, transactional, and exponential. At this point in my journey, I became obsessed with learning everything I could about social skills and human psychology. I mean, YouTube videos, blogs, articles, books, I devoured it all. And I started to learn some interesting things like, oh wow, eye contact is important. And as someone who for most of my life struggled to hold eye contact because it was terrifying, I remember spending weeks teaching myself how to hold eye contact. And nowadays, many people tell me that my eye contact is so powerful that sometimes it feels my eyes are piercing their soul. So soon enough, my social skills study and my good girl academic study was paying off, and I got accepted into Cambridge University. And everything seemed to be falling into place. I mean, now I had friends, I lived on a campus that looked like Hogwarts, and I had a clear path forward. And then I took a prestigious internship in finance, which of course is the perfect next step for a high achiever. And my parents were thrilled. My friends were so impressed. I had made it. Or had I? The truth is, I was miserable. I would count the hours until I could go home and wake up the next morning with dread. And one day, I bumped into a successful executive in the ladies' bathroom, and this woman seemed to have it all. But when I dropped a casual comment about the weekends not being long enough, I'll never forget, she looked me dead in the eye and she went, "Welcome to adult life." And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I had followed all the rules and ticked all the boxes, but this wasn't my life. So I decided to throw the rulebook out the window because I was done being the good girl. Now, going back to my theory on the 3 levels of relationships, looking back, I realized that I was stuck in what I now call level 1, circumstantial connections. These are the people that you build relationships with because they're the people that you're around, like in school or work or a hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem here is it's all based on complete luck and random chance. Maybe you're lucky and you make a deep soul friend this way, and that's great. But the likelihood of you truly deeply resonating with the people around you at this level is quite low. And maybe someone opens a door for you and gets you an opportunity, and if that happens, good for you! How lucky you are. But chances of repeated success, again, are low. So I left finance, and I was finally brave enough to pursue entrepreneurship. I realized I wanted more than just a successful job. I wanted freedom. freedom to live life on my own terms, freedom to make an impact, freedom to help others realize their dreams. And so I decided to start a podcast, which led me to taking over a community of successful, impact-driven young entrepreneurs. Now, the problem was, at the time, this community was a sleepy little club on life support, and I was struggling to rebuild it. But I so believed in its potential, and so I decided to do everything I could to make it work. So I got on a plane and started traveling the world, and I decided to apply my social skills to a much bigger game. Soon enough, I was throwing dinner parties with and even living with multimillionaires, hanging out with influencers and public figures, and even dining with royalty and billionaires at a royal ball in the Palace of Versailles. This had to be it. I was finally one of the cool kids. But deep down, I felt like something was off. And the more I networked, the emptier I felt. And soon enough, I found myself in Beverly Hills hanging out with a super connector, and this guy was connected with billionaires, celebrities, supermodels. He got into all the cool VIP parties, and it seemed like his life was epic. But he shared something with me that stopped me cold. He said, "When I got cancer, I lost my network." And I thought, wow. When he was at his lowest, when he needed people the most, no one was there for him. So what was the point in making all these connections? And I looked at the way he built his network, and I realized that he was hiding his true self. He was playing tit for tat. He was playing a game, and it was all transactional. And then I had to look myself in the mirror and ask myself, well, why am I hanging out with him exactly? I don't actually care about the guy at all. And I realized, oh, it's because I think he can open doors for me. And I realized that I too was playing a game. I was still wearing a mask and still hiding, just like the little girl in school, too afraid to be judged or rejected because then I might lose out on something that would help me with my goals. This is level 2, transactional networking. It works until it doesn't. Sure, you can make more money, score opportunities, and elevate your status this way, but it's exhausting. And you're always wearing a mask, always pushing an agenda. And when I was at this level, I realized that I was trying so hard to force the hand of luck, to over-control my outcomes. And at this level, ultimately, I became disconnected from my purpose, didn't achieve any of my deeper goals, and felt empty inside. So I came back to London, broke. The community was still failing. And I was so burnt out, I could barely get out of bed in the mornings. Now, to save the community, I decided to co-create an impact award to bring incredible young entrepreneurs to Sir Richard Branson's Caribbean home, Necker Island, to learn from him and other incredible industry leaders. This was going to save my failing community, and it was going to help these young entrepreneurs see their limitless potential and help them achieve a greater impact in the world. But with no donors, no applicants, and only 2 months to turn this thing around, I was on the verge of giving up. And one day, a close friend called, and we'd supported each other so much throughout the years. And on this call, he said, "How are you?" And I did something scary. I decided to be really vulnerable, and I said, "I'm doing terribly. I feel like a complete failure. I have this huge project. I don't know how to do it. I'm totally overwhelmed." And he said, "I'll help you. So we got our heads together and we spent countless hours working late into the night for weeks on end, doing everything ourselves, reaching out to donors, applicants, creating pitch decks, creating the website, building partnerships. And there were so many moments of doubt and frustration where we thought, is this even actually going to work? But we stuck with it, and we stuck with each other. And soon enough, we're standing on the beach on Necker Island, overlooking the clear blue Caribbean Sea, surrounded by some of the world's most inspiring young entrepreneurs. And we had this moment where we looked each other in the eyes with pure joy, and we said, we did it. And it was then that I realized that in helping these young entrepreneurs achieve their potential, I had realized mine. This is level 3, exponential relationships. My relationship with my friend wasn't built on transactions. It was built on trust. And that's the difference. Exponential relationships elevate both of you. And the best part is you get to be 100% yourself, seen, held, and loved for who you truly are, and trust that those who are meant for you will be there for you and allow all the rest to fall away. And as soon as I switched into level 3 and started behaving this way, the most incredible people came into my life. And these people became my thought partners, my biggest champions, allies, new business partners, best friends, and people that I would just dance through life with. And the best part is that success just came along with that, totally naturally. So we're coming to the end of my story, and I want to leave you with this. There's value to all of these levels. Sometimes you're just around people and you want to connect with who you're around, and that's okay. Why not? And sometimes a relationship is purely transactional. Hey, I'm going to pay you to do this, and you're going to deliver me value for it. And that's okay too. Level 3 can be a scary leap. It's scary to be vulnerable and to show the truth of who you are and potentially risk being rejected or losing out on something that you think could help you out. And you might not always be able to do it. But the more that you lean into this and seek something deeper, something beyond just money and favor, the more fulfilled you will be. And when you lead with love and genuine connection, you'll soon find that you become luckier than you could have ever imagined. So today, I'd like to ask you, think about your relationships. Are they circumstantial, transactional, or exponential? I'd like to invite you to think about one person in your life that you're in some kind of relationship with, and think about something that you're hiding something from them because you think that that could lose you something. And I challenge you that next time you speak to this person, risk speaking up, risk showing who you are, even if it's hard, because it might actually bring you closer, or they might fall away. But trust that those who love you for who you are the ones who are meant for you, and they are the ones who will go all out for you, and you would do the same for them. At level 3 exponential relationships, you experience more love, more joy, deeper connection and fulfillment, and believe it or not, success just comes along naturally with that, along with an ability to create a greater impact in the world. Because at the end of the day, it's not about rubbing shoulders or chasing connections or having the fanciest Rolodex in your phone. It's about the people who stand by you, who lift you higher, and who rise with you on this journey called life. Thank you.